Hello friends, as our summer continues and we move on in our sermon series this summer away from our Sabbath conversations, I wanted to post a couple of videos related to the ongoing conversations we're having related to the Sabbath book. So the book is divided into 7 sections, and in the Tuesday night gatherings, we're gathering 7 times so that we can reflect on each one of those sections. And I wanted to just offer a reflection from the first section, which is a focus on the theme of rest. One of the things that comes up a couple of different ways in that section is how important it is for us to listen to our bodies, that our bodies give us a lot of data around what it is that's going on with us, not just physically, but also emotionally and spiritually. And one of the things that happens is that when we don't make room for Sabbath in our lives, when we don't create pauses, when we don't take time to rest, when we don't take our hand off the plow, so to speak, and step away from our busy schedules, then sickness becomes our Sabbath. Our bodies finally just tell us we have to stop. And sometimes that sickness is that we trip and we hurt our ankle. Sometimes that sickness is that we get ready to go on vacation and then we get the flu. And while we're on vacation, all we can do is sleep. Other times it's bigger than that. Sometimes the sickness that stops us is a bad back or being diagnosed with cancer. And in that section, there's some really lovely reflections from people in Wayne Mueller's book who found Sabbath in their sickness. But of course, we'd rather be able to find Sabbath without getting sick. And so one of, I think, an important practice for us is to do a better job of listening to our bodies. Because when we push through our emotional and spiritual boundaries to keep going, because that's what the culture demands of us, eventually our body becomes our last messenger. And something happens to really get our attention. And what I've tried to do over the years is begin to listen sooner rather than later. I've shared with a couple of people as we've been involved in these Sabbath reflections that one of the things that I'm noticing right now in my body is that I have a thumb that gets stuck. It's called a trigger thumb. It happened last year on my right thumb, and as I was trying to figure out what to do about it, somebody who knew a good hand surgeon referred me to them, and eventually I had hand surgery last September and it solved the problem. Interestingly, my left thumb started to get stuck right around Christmas of last year, and I thought, maybe I need to find another solution to this. So I've been paying attention to what it means for my thumb to be stuck. And I've been asking myself the question, what other places in my life might I be stuck? And I'm not paying enough attention to that. And so my body is saying to me, Mary, you're stuck. And it's using my body to give me that message. As I've started asking that question and reflecting on that, and then beginning to address some places where I have indeed been feeling stuck, both in my marriage as well as in some of the ways that I do my job, guess what? My thumb is beginning to get unstuck. It's sort of like my body said, thank you for listening. We no longer need to send you this message. So I don't know what it is that's going on in your body, and maybe nothing. Maybe you're in a really great place. But I think all of us deal with body issues at some point. We just either get really tired or something in our body's not working the way we expect it to. And of course, sometimes that's just what happens as our bodies get older. But it never hurts to allow our body to get our attention and to ask the question, what do I need to pay attention to here? And how might my body be asking me for some special clarity about something? So I don't know about you, but I know there's certainly been times in my life where sickness has become my Sabbath. And I hope that if that's happening to you or might happen to you in the future, that you might find a way to listen sooner rather than later. That's one of the reflections in the rest section at the beginning of the book.